Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Nebros, and we're back with another ShoeOnHead reaction. It's the second one I'm doing on this channel. Why do women hate Sydney Sweeny? Well, my first reason for which would be she's attractive. But I've seen a lot of this. We've reacted to it via I think it was a Rev Says Desu video as well, but let's go into it. Link to the original video will be down below. Be sure to like, comment, or subscribe, or if you want to do all three, that would also be very cash money of you, just so that your view can count as an engaged viewer. And with all the dilly-dally out the way, let's go.
So, if you've been living under a rock, you probably haven't heard
I'm
that
playing
Sydney
GTA 5
Sweeny
in the
was in
background.
an American Eagle commercial.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeny has great genes.
Get it? Jeans?
Yeah.
Jeans?
Ha ha
And
ha,
she's
it's so
attractive? And
it's
she
so
is.
funny,
I can
it's
see
so
why
clever.
men like her. She has a really cute face and a nice body. But personally, my favorite thing about Sydney Sweeny
It's crazy
is
to
that
think
she's
she's
a
10 years
Nazi.
younger than me.
Did they mean to include a bunch of Nazi dog whistles in this? How the did she agree to this? Actual Nazi ad. The only way Sydney Sweeny would be okay with doing an ad like this is if she was a Nazi.
This is Nazi shit.
What's crazy to me is that these people are so comfortable with watering down the term Nazi.
Stop the ad! That is being racist!
Some of you guys might be too young to remember, but back in the day when an ugly girl was jealous of a pretty girl, she would simply call her a whore. But
Yeah.
that's a good thing now, so we have to call her racist. I am going to be
It's a good
completely
thing
honest.
now.
I have no idea what movies Sydney Sweeny is in. All I know, she
No,
is a very
me
popular
neither.
celebrity, and I always see discourse on Twitter about her being mid.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you people? Who is not mid nowadays? I saw Anne Hathaway get called mid the other day. Anne Hathaway.
What's her name? She played Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad movie. What was that? What's her name? I forget her name, but she was called mid as well.
These women are mid. I'm like a sub-zero. I'm like a -2. I am like a
Yeah, if they're
mid,
mid, there's no hope for anybody else,
445
honestly.
million years, no evolution. That's me. Millions of years on YouTube, no evolution. Sydney Sweeny has like a fun, bubbly personality. She seems like she enjoys being feminine, and it seems like she doesn't hate men, which is a big plus. She really plays into
especially in
the,
my
like,
book.
I'm a hot blonde bombshell. I have big titties thing. Which, are we back to liking titties as a society? Didn't Kim Kardashian
Never stopped?
deflate her ass recently? That's how I knew
Yeah,
the
that's
ass
sad.
fad was over. The fall of Kim Kardashian's ass and the rise of Sydney Sweeny.
Not sad that she deflated her ass, but the fact that she needed to pump it up anyway. That's what's sad.
Besides, ass, titties, no, I don't objectify women. I respect women, okay? The only thing that matters to me is a woman's mind. And thighs. What is like the male body?
And for some
equivalent
people,
to
their
the
feet.
abs or arms. Personally, I love a good forearm. I love a good, nice, thick, manly wrist. And you know what looks great on a wrist? A watch. Which brings us to today's sponsor, Holzgern. So let's quickly give them a shout out before we get into today's video, shall we?
Watches I can't afford.
Holzgern is a young Austrian company that creates unique watches, jewelry, and accessories using all natural materials like wood and stone. Their high-quality timepieces come in various designs for both men and women, making them the perfect choice for any style or occasion.
They do
All
look good,
Holzgern's
though.
products are manufactured in small quantities to ensure responsible and ethical production, while
Yeah.
making sure each item is built to last. I personally love the
Better quality
kaleidoscope
assurance
watch
that
with
way.
the little flower design on the pearl dial. I think it is so beautiful and so cute. I'm obsessed with it. The glass is made of sapphire
big for a
crystal, making it
woman's watch,
scratch
though.
resistant, while the strap is crafted from koa wood, and it's water resistant as well. There's also the Moonrise watch, which is made from genuine white marble and stainless steel.
Nice.
It shows the weekday, date, and even the current moon phase, which is really cool. I think all the
I don't know
products
what I'd
make
do with
very
that
beautiful
information, but
gifts, and since they're all made from natural materials, they're all very unique. All their items come with a 2-year warranty, and ordering online is super easy with free worldwide shipping within 5 to 9 business days. And if you're in the US, don't worry, Holzgern handles the custom feeds for you, so no unexpected drama there. Just click my link in the description below and use my special discount code SHOE to get 15% off your order. Plus, if you additionally sign up for their free premium club membership, you'll get access to exclusive products, special discounts, and early pre-sales. But if you only want to check things out for now, no pressure. You can just sign up, come back later, and you'll still get a special discount on your first purchase. So if you're looking for a unique gift or just want to treat yourself to a nice watch, I highly suggest checking out Holskern. Big thank you to Holskern.
I highly
for
doubt
sponsoring
I
this
can
video.
afford
And
them,
now,
but I'll check it
let's
out
get back to
anyway.
it.
My jeans are brown.
Sounds like my pants. The woke outrage over Sydney Sweeney's ad has gone from, well, bad to worse.
Some people have taken issue with the phrase great genes being used over images of a blonde, blue-eyed woman.
If Sydney Sweeny is a registered Republican, I think her ad is fantastic. Okay.
What if she was a registered Democrat?
TikTok and Twitter absolutely blew up with thousands and thousands of people calling this ad fascist propaganda. Yes, they literally took the...
Yeah, because they don't actually understand what fascism is. That's the big problem with that accusation. They don't understand what fascism is. Yeah, they heard a buzzword, they went and they're just running with it.
jeans and jeans pun to be some kind of Nazi dog whistle because Sydney Sweeny is an attractive blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman, which apparently has been an extinct species for so long in advertisement that when people saw this, they got scared and thought they saw the ghost of Hitler. Is Sydney Sweeny a Nazi?
No.
But do these people kind of have a point about this ad?
No.
Also no. They are unwell. But let's hear them out. Let's watch some of these
I don't
TikToks.
really
Let's
want
listen
to.
them, listen to their points. We're not going to be mean. We're not going to...
They don't have a point. That's the problem.
We're going to hear them out.
You guys are complaining about
Oh
that
dear
Sydney
God, look at
Sweeny
it.
jeans ad, so I went and saw it.
That's Nazi propaganda.
I might actually be more willing to listen to your point if I didn't see the inside of your nose. At least what I could see beyond the septum piercing. So why is it always the big thick ass rimmed glasses and the septum piercing? Like, and it's always this bull ring shit. Like, the urge to go up there, grab the piercing, and just walk, you know?
Holy 2014 Tumblr. What the out here looking like
Oh
you're
yes,
straight out of a
Tumblr.
Stone Toss comic. Looking like you're going on the thumbnail of this video. Listen, if your bangs
Yeah.
are in the middle of your forehead, you don't have to tell me your political opinions.
Yeah,
I know them.
that's
I can
true.
tell. Okay, sorry. I got it out of my system. Let's continue.
I will be the friend that's too woke because those Sydney Sweeny American Eagle ads are weird. Like, fascist weird. Like,
They're not
Nazi
fascist.
propaganda weird.
So this commercial was apparently a reference to an old Brooke Shields commercial from the 80s.
The secret of life lies hidden in a genetic code. Genes.
Brooke
are fundamental
Shields.
in determining
Wow.
characteristics of an individual and passing on these characteristics to succeeding generations. This may result in the origin of an entirely new species. Which brings us to Calvin's and the survival of the fittest.
Calvin Klein jeans.
Oh my god, she turns into a swastika. She was like 14 in that ad, by the way.
Hang on.
Really creepy.
She turns
So
into a swastika? How?
And the survival of the fittest.
Okay. That's not a swastika. Is it? I can't visualize it. And I'm not pulling paint up to go draw lines on.
Calvin Klein jeans.
Oh my god, she turns into a swastika. She was like 14 in that ad, by the way. Really creepy. So at least Sydney Sweeny is of legal age. 14 is actually pretty old for Brooke Shields if you know her history and her lore. If
I
anything,
don't.
That is the most f***ed up thing about this Sydney Sweeny ad, referencing an old ad of a child star who was abused by Hollywood. But yeah, it was a callback to an old commercial. And Sydney Sweeny is the current day hot celebrity, so they chose to do it with her. They unfortunately failed to consider the fact
Why
that
not?
in the current year, white people are not allowed to say that they have good genes because that is
that's
Nazi
why not.
propaganda.
A blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes. Like,
Yeah, it's really not that deep,
that
lady.
is Nazi propaganda.
You don't get to drop
No,
lines
it's
about
not.
inherited traits, blue eyes,
Why
and
are they
great
all
genes,
white?
while zooming in on somebody that could have walked straight off of a Nazi propaganda poster.
A white
blonde,
Oh my God,
blue-eyed,
another one.
Hitler's wet dream, talking about how much she loves her genetics.
It's not just giving eugenics, it's giving male fantasy.
I like how eugenics and being attractive to men are like
Oh,
equally
white people,
terrible
Nazis.
things to these people.
Sydney Sweeney's
Yeah.
ad is giving ethnic state propaganda. It is giving dystopian. It is giving 1940s Germany.
Why do they all speak the same? Why do they all do the same They all say the same It's giving. It's giving.
Put a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, fair-skinned woman in an ad and say she
Because I think
has
what they
good
mean to
genes.
say is it's
I'm not
giving
gonna say this,
off,
it's literally
but,
giving
you know,
Nazi
words are
propaganda.
hard.
It's giving. Also, the flesh-colored microphone.
We'll get back to the flesh-colored microphone, but the funny thing about all these people is they, you can tell they all got the same memo, right? Because it's giving, the phraseology is exactly the same. And it's all the same topic. None of them's actually ever deviating or having anything more to say about it than, or anything more nuanced to say about it than the acceptable lines. But these are the so-called educated and clever people. These are the people who want to school you on what intelligence is and what actually is morally correct, and you know they're the ones who want to educate you on things. Yeah. You know what? I'll keep my own counsel, thanks.
Why? It's giving okay? It's giving It's giving
Is it?
Nazi propaganda. It's
Wait.
blonde-haired, blue-eyed,
Yep.
fair-skinned
Sure, you're
woman
right.
in an ad and say she has good genes.
That is a
I'm not gonna
PP
say this, but
microphone.
It's literally giving Nazi propaganda.
It's giving. Also, the flesh-colored microphone. Why? It's giving okay? It's giving
Yep.
It's giving
I
Yep.
can't believe I actually have to explain this, but there is a reason that they picked a girl named Sydney Sweeny for this ad, and it's not just her blonde hair and her blue eyes.
Yes,
Sydney
it is.
Sweeny is laying with her German Shepherd dog in this shoe. Her name is Sydney Sweeny, so her initials are SS. They intentionally included her German Shepherd dog in the photo shoot.
Oh my.
You know what this reminds me of? There's an episode of Star Trek Voyager in which Seven of Nine hooks up a bunch of Borg data nodes so that she can assimilate information while she's regenerating. But because there's no actual Borg tech to regulate how much information goes in, she ends up overloading with information. I think it's called the Voyager Conspiracy. And in that episode, she ends up coming up with a whole bunch of conspiracy theories and conclusions and whatnot that, yes, she can back up, and they seem plausible enough that even Chakotay and Janeway have each other distrusting one another. But in the end, it was determined that it's just her mind processing too much information. She can't handle enough information. And this is what this reminds me of. Because these people are seeing a whole bunch of coincidences, and they are coincidences, and they're coming up with these conclusions. And it's no surprise then that they can't actually handle the amount of information they get, because, you know, they're stupid.
My God. Take your meds. Meds. Her name is Sydney
Take your
Sweeny.
meds,
Her
yes.
initials are SS, like the Nazis. The dog is a German Shepherd. German, like the Nazis. Are they putting crack in birth control
She's
nowadays?
white, like
What
the
is going on?
Nazis.
She is a hot woman. She is a hot woman because of the way she looks.
Mm-hmm.
She looks the way she looks because of genetics.
Mhm.
She has great genes.
Mhm.
That is how a normal person sees it. She's
Yep.
blonde and has blue eyes and her initials are SS and she has a German Shepherd. Is how a schizophrenic, politically brain-rotted person sees it.
Yep. Oh dear God, look at this one. She's got the crazy eyes.
I am a marketing student and was wondering if I could speak to someone who could maybe give me some insight as to what estimated return on investment there has to be willing to use white supremacy and eugenics as your marketing campaign.
I'd hang up.
On a marketing campaign?
Harassing some poor worker. Doesn't even fucking speak English. Has all to do with the commercial. These
No.
people are sick.
Yes, I recently saw American Eagle's eugenics marketing campaign where they used that white blonde girl and talked about how good her genes were in a time where racism is rampant.
I just want to go back a couple frames. Look at that. Look at her face there. Without actually, we're gonna do a bit of an experiment. I'm gonna go back a little bit further, right?
Harassing some poor worker
And then I'm
to
gonna
say
mute the
they can't
video.
speak English has all to do with the commercial. These people are sick.
And I'm going to tell you what I see as it goes. We're going to drop the speed as well. I did this in a different video, not quality, speed, not subtitles. Playback speed. Where are you? There you are. We're going to drop it down to 1/4 speed. Now, in this frame, immediately, what I see is actual disgust. Do you know why? She looks like she's got a bad smell under her nose, right? That's a first indicator of disgust. Her body language, her shoulder, she's tightening up the one shoulder. Tells me she's not exactly comfortable with what she's doing, but let's continue. Look at the contempt and disgust on her face. God, this is actually horrifying. This is actually horrifying. Look, that right there, that is a face of absolute hatred. That is what, if someone gives you that look, it's not your imagination. They hate you. Look, contempt, there's contempt, disgust, lips are pursed, that's anger. Contempt, disgust, anger equals hatred. But, you know, this is the sort of morally superior person. We got to take our cues on what's normal and what should be accepted. And, you know, the loving, tolerant people, there's nothing loving or tolerant there. Oh, let's unmute.
White blonde girl and talked about how good her genes were in a time where racism is rampant in the U.S.
I see. Thank you for taking time to share your feedback.
Why are you bothering this random ass Filipino woman with your West Wing ass TED talk? Nobody gives a
Okay.
No,
so
nobody
there's
does.
No way to, as a student, I can't learn about when eugenics makes sense in marketing. No one on the marketing team can talk to me about that.
And look at the smug superiority of it too. Like this just boils my piss. This one does. This is just like, though I abhor, I've always abhorred violence inflicted upon women, but I'm giving urgent consideration to making an exception in her case, because she has that face, the smug superior attitude here. Just, if I saw it on a guy, I'd punch him, you know. Yeah. Also, I'd tell her to fuck off.
I miss like 50 years ago when these people would just be serial killers instead
Yes,
of doing whatever
thank
the
you.
fuck this is. She's even got other celebrities see them.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining
Who the hell is
hair
this?
color,
Is this a celebrity?
personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Haha, she did a dumb redneck voice, get it? Because all white people are dumb inbred hicks. Doja. Hey, by the way, why are you pandering to the same exact people who got your ass canceled for wearing a Sam Hyde shirt once? They all think you're racist too, girl, but nice try. Hope they see this.
Doja Cat is making fun of Sydney Sweeney's ad only because she realized after all those years of her kissing up to white supremacists, they're never going to accept her because she's a half black woman. Wearing the Sam Hyde shirt, you dating all these white
I have
supremacists.
no idea
So
what they're
make fun of
talking
the ad
about.
all you want, but we'll never forget you rolling around in those chat rooms showing white supremacists your feet so they can make fun of your black ass.
Oh, they did see it, and they still hate you.
Weird adverts aside about how the best genes are characterized in a conventionally attractive white, blonde, blue-eyed woman. Not true. I mean, look at me.
Yeah, well, there are outliers in every case, my dude. But nobody ever said anything about her having the best genes. She said her genes has really good genes. And in every sense of the word, whichever way you interpret that, it's true. So, you know, I don't get what the problem is. But yeah, you are clearly an exception to the good genes part.
5 years, or as soon as she shows any sign of aging, that's it. The moment she becomes visibly over 25.
She's
Enjoy the ride now,
27.
babe, before you get too old and ugly and hit the wall. But wokely. This is just something I've noticed in the decade of criticizing feminism on the internet. Male feminists are the most misogynistic, sexist freaks ever when they finally have an acceptable, approved target to go after. God forbid you are a woman with the incorrect...
It's a funny thing because the people most who are against things the loudest are generally the biggest perpetrators of it. I don't get why, but it generally seems to be the case.
Correct opinion, because hell hath no fury like a male feminist replying to you.
A strawberry blonde, blue-eyed woman marketing having great genes. This is just a whole fucking eugenics campaign, and
No, it isn't.
For one, would like to throw myself off a balcony.
Do it.
I
Do
applaud
backflip,
that
live stream
decision.
it. Also, these people
I
just straight up
support
don't
that
know what the
decision.
eugenics movement
Go
is.
for it.
Talking about genetics is not eugenics. Sydney
Yeah.
Sweeny did not say she had the best genes or superior genes or that other
No.
people had bad inferior genes. Someone even made it like a fake ad like Beyonce has better genes, and it's like, why'd you pick the picture where she has like a blonde wig on?
This
Yeah.
campaign is poking at women's greatest and most tender insecurity under the patriarchy, which is desirability in the beauty standard. It affects not only non-white women, even though this is clearly white supremacist, Aryan race propaganda, but it also adversely affects the majority of white women who do not naturally have blonde hair and blue eyes. Because yes, even the women who can achieve this look have to do it through artificial means in one way or another. The vast majority of white women are not naturally blonde. And of course, lots of white women are also insecure about having brown eyes. So that's a whole generation.
Okay, but none of this means that they have to be like her. The company's not advertising Sydney Sweeny, it's advertising jeans.
Generation of young white women who are being further propagandized to purchase blonde hair dye and contacts for the rest.
No, they're not. It's an ad for jeans. It's got nothing to do with hair dye and contacts and shit.
Of all time.
Okay, what? Are attractive women just not allowed to model anymore because, like, God forbid it makes some other women insecure? And as someone with brown eyes, I've never once felt insecure about having brown eyes. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna get into hyperborea, but...
They're your eyes, you can't change them. What's the use in getting insecure about them? I've also always had brown eyes, also always wished I had blue eyes, but you know what? That wasn't on the cards for me. So, you know... There's actually a video I want to play about this. And let's go my channel. And we're going to go to my clips. My mum has blue eyes. She says blue eyes aren't fabulous. Okay, let's go down to my clips. I think it's in here. Oh crap, I've lost the video. It's not here apparently. All right. Let's see. We'll then search, and here's the video. Now, I don't know if I can actually play it. Because you kind of need to hear it. But anyway, I'll include the links to this video. But in it, she's singing, "There's no point worrying about things you can't fix. So there's no point worrying about your bloody eye color because you can't do anything about it."
To purchase blonde.
Sure, you can get colored contact lenses, but that's only a surface level fix anyway, and I don't see the point. If people aren't gonna, it's like, who is it for anyway? If you're not happy with your eye color, then getting contact lenses. No one cares what the color of your eyes are. You know? Oh.
Hair dye and contacts for the rest of all time.
Okay, what? Are attractive women just...
Okay, we need to
like,
go.
yeah, I'm not gonna get into hyperborea, but I've seen myself photoshopped with blue eyes. Horrifying.
Nah, it doesn't look too bad. It's not you, but Yeah.
So we've gone from Nazi propaganda to genocide to racism to now poor little girls are gonna feel insecure because they don't have blue eyes like Sydney Sweeny.
Another thing about the Sydney Sweeny beauty standard that is very important to note is that big boobs are a hallmark of what conservative men are attracted to.
So fucking what? People out there are attracted to feet. I don't judge them for it either. So what? Conservative, you're not allowed. Conservative men just aren't allowed to exist? Is that what she's saying?
At the end of the early 2000s and through the 2010s, we were becoming a more progressive society, and so we also naturally progressed to be a more ass-centric society.
In the 2000s, we were becoming
Oh
more
my
progressive,
God.
so we started objectifying women's butts.
Yeah.
What? The communist utopia will be ass-centric, apparently. I didn't know the ass first thing was political. How does she know conservatives are all boobs?
I didn't know the ass first thing, ass first boobs things.
What political affiliation are the feet?
I didn't know it was political. Maybe.
Listen, they can try to disguise it with their little intersectionality buzzwords all they want, but at the end of the day, women just want a socially acceptable reason to hate other women.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good genes passed on to offspring? That American Eagle ad with Sydney Sweeny is literally overt eugenics. I know you don't want to hear this, but if you want to talk about how that ad is promoting...
Look how I'm going to smugly and self-righteously explain to you why this thing that I disagree with is wrong. Honestly, fuck off.
eugenics, which it absolutely is, we also have to talk about how choosing not to wear a mask when you can during an ongoing pandemic, because you're okay with a certain subset of people, primarily disabled people of color, dying.
This woman's locked in 2020.
1 second. $2025.
Yeah.
We are talking about wearing masks for COVID in 2025.
Yeah.
I like how she's woke scolding the other woke scolds
Yeah.
for not woke scolding about her particular pet issue.
That's a lot of
COVID
woke
broke
scolding.
The brains of so many of these people, man. It's because it's when the world was...
No, COVID didn't break the brains of so many people. It just revealed that very many people don't have brains. I looked at a lot of people during COVID and thought to myself, well, what would you do with a brain if you had one?
Was just a giant
I look at people today and think that.
safe HR longhouse where it was socially acceptable for them to be moral busybodies and never leave their home. It was like the closest to their lib shit utopia that we have ever gotten, and they miss it.
I remember growing up in a
It was shit.
white community, wishing myself out of this body, out of this culture. Take my name. If it meant that I could wake up blonde-haired and blue-eyed, never having to explain who I am or worry
Sorry, who are you?
about being accepted. That is why this American Eagle ad with Sydney Sweeny is especially off-putting.
Listen, I'm sorry that happened to you, but we live in a predominantly white country. If you
Mhm.
go to another country, there will be a different beauty standard. If
You know what? Go
the
to
country of
India.
your ancestors, there will
almost
be a
no
different
white
beauty
people there.
standard, and maybe it will look more like you. But again, she didn't say her genes were better or...
But you know what? The problem is that she had this issue because she's not white, but you know what? She was probably born in America because the places where people predominantly look like her are shitholes. That's why she's in America, you know? That's why she has the freedom and whatnot to go on and talk like this.
or the best. And it's not like all the hot popular celebrities look like Sydney Sweeny.
No.
Look at Ana de Armas. Look at Zendaya. They don't look anything like Sydney Sweeny. And they are known as very
They're not my particular brand of attractive, but I can see the appeal.
beautiful around Hollywood. This is why corporations and the media think in order to pander to the female gaze, everything has to be like average and frumpy and ugly. Because women can't stop fucking projecting their insecurities. Not every character in a movie or a video game has to look like you. Not everyone in an ad has to look like you. Hell, the only time I see people who look like me is when I turn on the live-action Grinch movie. You notice men never say this, by the way? They usually go like, wow, that man is strong. I don't look like that. I'm gonna go to the gym. And women are like, wow, that woman is thin. I don't look like that. I'm gonna go complain.
For example, hang on, my PC's having an aneurysm. For example, I would kill to look like that. I didn't get very far when I was going to gym, and then I fell behind in the gym payments, and they won't let me in now anymore. But yeah, I would kill to look like that. As it is, I'll show you an example of what I look like. That's pretty much what I look like.
What?
So when I see strong, conventionally attractive men, I'm like, man, wish that was me.
To make Sydney Sweeney's jeans better. Like, why did you get that joke? All us woke
Nobody
people are
said
saying
better.
It's just a little bit weird to directly reference European jeans as better.
Again, she never said that her jeans were better.
And neither did American Eagle.
Now, when you think of the all-American girl, like the standard of like American beauty, you probably think blonde hair, blue eyes, white girl, right? You're not supposed to think that way.
You're not supposed to think that way, guys. That's double plus ungood.
That's double plus ungood. Listen, you, whoever you are, you don't get to tell me what I'm supposed to think, okay? That is fascist. You don't get to tell people what they're supposed to think. People will think what they're going to think. And you can disagree with it all you want, and that's perfectly fine. Valid even. But you can't stop people. Simon Phoenix put it perfectly in Demolition Man. You can't take away people's right to be assholes. And in the same way, you can't tell people what they're supposed to think. That was the whole problem with the Raymond Cocteau plan in Demolition Man. Yeah, it created a bit of a utopia, but it also created a pretty much sissified little world where... Remember that guy, he was at that terminal that Simon Phoenix went to after escaping the cryo prison? And he's like, I just don't feel like there's anything special about me. And he had to have the terminal tell him that he's a great person. I suppose because nobody else ever did, but, you know, it's weird. And that whole thing just warns against this whole control what you think and what you say kind of thing. Yeah? The verbal morality statute, where people aren't allowed to use bad language and dirty words. No, it's trashy, sure, but I mean, come on. Gun, please, in GTA. Right, back to the video.
That's like,
sorry about that.
Ingrained in you because of negative things that have been pushed on you by society.
When you think about the all-American woman, you should be thinking about an obese, transgender, disabled woman or something. What would be an acceptable vision of the American woman for this person? It's insane she's saying that we think Sydney Sweeny is hot because of negative things that have been pushed on us by society. No, we have eyes. And just because she is attractive does not mean...
Yeah, and we think that way because that has been the standard for our entire lives. It's only in the recent, like, 5-10 years that it's become super mainstream. And you know what? Companies are pulling out of it. Victoria's Secret. How they doing? I don't know. I don't keep up with it, but I heard a Fat Hooters recently just closed. You know, so clearly it's not a winning business strategy. There's a reason for it, and it's not because people are horny sexists.
You are also not attractive. Look at your full lips. That is a standard of beauty I'll never live up to. That's okay, because I have other things that are beautiful and unique about me, just like you have other things that are beautiful and unique about you, regardless if Sydney Sweeny is held up as the American beauty standard. These are lessons your mother should have taught you, not a YouTuber. Sydney Sweeny's ad shows a cultural shift towards whiteness.
Learn from your parents, not YouTubers.
And sometimes what they reflect is ugly and startling. Boo. A white woman. Oh, the author is white. I hate these people.
Oh, yeah.
Shut up. Shut
Yeah,
It's one thing when it's
I
like a
agree.
non-white person talking about how white people suck. It's like, okay, you're just racist. But when it's a white person talking about white people suck, you need to be ground up into a pulp and fed to livestock. You would honestly be more useful that way. Ants are always
I
mirrors of
agree.
society, and sometimes what they reflect
At
is
least to an
ugly and
extent.
startling. Popular American culture is, indisputably, becoming more puritanical and more conservative.
Oh, for God's sake.
Puritanical? The focus of
That,
the ad was her tits and ass. This is not
yeah, like a sexy girl wearing nothing under a denim, like under denim overalls is puritanical. Are these people stupid? I swear to God, they're actually. I promised a friend I wouldn't say it, but they're actually stupid. Like, unironically so.
not at all a conservative, puritanical ad. Have you seen what the puritanical right thinks of Sydney Sweeny? They think she's a whore, okay? They think she's a whore.
Yeah.
The backlash has been swift and fierce, and some of it at
Okay, but the puritanical right are just as bad as every. Like, they're just as bad as their counterparts on the left, so. People dunk on you for being a filthy centrist and whatnot, but that's where it's at. You know why? Because from the center, I can from my position atop the fence, I can see the shit both sides are busy wading through. I think I'll stay on the fence. Thank you. Oops.
At least, if you ask me, is fair. The internet has been quick to condemn the advertisement as non-inclusive at best.
I don't care about
Why the f-
inclusivity.
does everything have to be inclusive? It's a commercial with one fucking person in it. Sweeney.
And isn't it funny how inclusive must include other demographics, but places that are inclusive actively exclude white people? That's why I don't believe this lie about inclusivity. So.
Exudes a source of vintage sexiness that caters to the male gaze. She embodies the near mythological girl next door beautiful but low maintenance sexy femininity that dominated the media in the 1990s and early 2000s. Oh wow, that
And
sounds
that's-
great. You telling me that's fascism? Waiter, more fascism please.
Yep.
What the It's
Why
just
is
so funny,
that
like,
bad?
The left is currently losing their mind about how like they need to get young men to vote for Democrats again, and here they are like blondes with big are fascism. Listen, the alt-right pipeline does not start with the American Eagle ad.
No.
It starts with you. What are you doing? This is not at all a conservative far-right ad. It's just a normal ad that would have ran like 15 years ago. But I guess that's what being far-right is nowadays.
Do you know what? If it was a black girl, and I think it was Halle Berry, or I'm not sure. I think it was Halle Berry who did an American Eagle ad too. Nobody said a thing. Nobody gave a shit. Why? Because I suppose it's the correct demographic being represented now. So, yeah, you can argue, yeah, but that's not Nazi propaganda. Well, neither is this American Eagle ad. Like they said, it has and always will be about her jeans, the jeans she's wearing, because they're a jeans brand. Duh. Like. Talk about reading into something that which does not exist.
Being normal from 15 years ago. I love this random part of the article though. Young women are being radicalized through so-called clean skincare and healthy eating. So fascism is hot people eating healthy and having clean skin. Goebbels himself could not make better propaganda. Literally, as I am editing this video, the New York Times comes out with this opinion piece. Why the right is obsessed with thinness. I would really, really appreciate if people stopped equating health and beauty to fascism, because if health and beauty are fascism, what is unhealthiness and ugliness? Unfortunately, a big part of socially progressive.
Why is health and hygiene bad now? Because we're ascribing it to the political right, and that makes it bad. So why is being healthy and hygienic bad? Do you want to be some stinky fat slob?
Progressive ideology is dismantling hierarchies and norms and challenging what society sees as conventional, traditional, and beautiful. A really good example of this was those statues that were put up like all over different cities.
No way, was this a real thing?
Of like a frumpy woman in leggings, and the artist says like the purpose of these was to like challenge conventional beauty standards.
Oh, that's so bad.
Imagine looking like one of these women and then hearing like, oh yeah, this was put up to challenge beauty. Like,
you're ugly. We're gonna make statues of you to challenge beauty standards.
What do you mean mean by that? Remember the whole body positivity movement like 10
Oh,
years
yeah.
ago? Remember like all the fat influencers? Remember when every single ad was like this ad, for example? Calvin Klein's latest underwear campaign is breaking big
Septum piercing.
boundaries. Big boundaries. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Big
whoa.
boundaries.
What do you mean by that? While fashion is starting to seriously consider creating more inclusive environment for consumers, there is still a huge mountain to climb.
Yeah, it's your consumers.
Before it is truly considered diverse. Huge mountain? No,
That's just mean.
And that's why Calvin Klein, probably the most famous name associated
Not
with
pre-watched,
underwear,
by the way.
just launched a groundbreaking campaign. Groundbreaking? Oh, come on now. The campaign is all about feeling free to express yourself, being uninhibited, and being provocative by challenging the norms.
You're fat and ugly, and that goes against the norm, so we're going to use you to challenge the norm.
We see on a regular basis. See? Challenging norms. It's all about challenging norms. This reminds me of that protein world controversy from 2015. Old heads will remember. I wrote an article about it for the Libertarian Republic. Wow, that was a long time ago. But anyway, a billboard with this ad for a protein powder supplement was put up and people lost their fucking minds. They vandalized it, they threatened to get a bunch of the employees fired, they threatened to go where the company was located with hammers, all because they committed the great crime of body shaming.
So how many feminists do you think could actually lift a sledgehammer?
By daring to have a thin, attractive woman on their ad. This
Yeah.
ad made other companies come out with their own like little virtue signaling things like passive aggressive, like everybody is ready, like every fashion magazine, every woman on their ad. This ad made other companies come out with their own like little virtue signaling things like passive aggressive, like every.
Honestly, I've seen worse. She's not bad. This is mild. This is actually good compared to what's come out recently.
Body is ready. Like every fashion magazine, every beauty magazine was pumping this out the time. Just fat, 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 fat. The rise of like
Yeah, I remember that. Oh God, her
beauty standards. Oh my God, you could not escape this.
No,
Also,
you couldn't.
suspiciously,
Even here in South Africa, it was all over the place.
Body positivity only seemed to mean obese women.
Yeah. Why are all the women like overweight or obese and the guys are like jacked? I mean, this guy over here, and like all of these guys, I'd like that body.
But yes, everywhere you looked, it was like fat, 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 and everyone was like, yes, queen. Well, now we live in Ozempic world, and the fat acceptance movement seems to have died. Like many of the fat influencers, unfortunately. And these same types of people are like crashing out about the Sydney Sweeny ad because they really do feel like all the work they have done to like socially engineer people's behavior and preferences has been just like destroyed overnight. Who would win? Decades of propaganda? One big booby girl. I wrote in the old article, I can't say I'm too surprised at the backlash towards this model's body. We are living in a world where instead of striving to better ourselves and live a healthy lifestyle, praising obesity and unattractiveness is becoming the norm. Well, ShoeOnHead from 10 years ago, you will be happy to hear that it seems like it's no longer the norm. Because apparently not just American Eagle, but like Dunkin' Donuts and Arby's are using hot people in their ads again. Is the culture truly healing, or are
we don't have
about to
Dunkin'
go into
Donuts
a
or
deep
Arby's in South
financial
Africa.
recession? Questions we should be asking. Angry Reddit freaks also doxed Sydney, looking through her voting records.
This is
and found out
sad.
She is a registered Republican. One of the most common things I saw about this were how like all the women
Hey,
who
Dawn.
mad about Sydney Sweeny were ugly. And I don't think that's true. There were some like pretty people in there. But it got onto this topic that I see all the time, and that is, why are liberal women so ugly? Leftists are ugly, conservatives are hot, which is not true, by the way. I was
Not
at January
always
6th,
true.
Okay? But for the most part, stereotypes exist for a reason, right? Conservatives are, well, conservative with the way that they present themselves. They tend to follow norms and beauty standards, which is why, for example, the media called Hassan a, quote, progressive in a MAGA body. And how
Oh
so
dear
many women on
God,
dating apps
Hassan.
nowadays are looking for a man who votes Democrat but looks like a Republican. Everyone is aware of the stereotypes. And with leftists, you know the stereotype, like the overweight, blue hair, nose ring. They're not all ugly, of course, but many purposely make themselves look ugly. Because being ugly is saying F you to the man. Marcel Duchamp's art piece, Fountain, which was...
The thing about them like making themselves look ugly with the blue hair and piercings and tattoos up the wazoo and whatnot. They all think they're being rebels, when in actual fact, at this point, not having tattoos and piercings and actually keeping yourself looking good and presentable, clean hair. If you're a guy, freshly shaven. If you're a woman too, I suppose. All of that is what makes you not a rebel. Sorry, all of that is what makes you a rebel these days, because there are so many people out there who do have just so many piercings and tattoos. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Literally just a urinal was a fuck you to art institutions and classical ideas of beauty. Those fuck-ass ugly concrete block brutalist buildings are another example. Brutalism emerged after World War II as a post-war modern style, in part created as a fuck you to the classical architecture self. Now think of those concrete buildings and the urinal and apply it to broader society. Basically, the blue hair and nose ring is a fuck you to, well, Sydney Sweeny. Hitler existed, so now everything has to be fat and ugly. Sorry. I don't know why so many on the left want to give the concept of beauty and health to the right, but it is not a winning strategy. Listen, I just want everyone's basic needs met, alright? I don't want people going in debt if they get into a car accident, or be homeless, or get sent to foreign wars. I didn't sign up for this stupid shit. It is funny though how like every time Sydney Sweeny is on camera, there's like a right-wing article like, "Woke is dead." Wokeness is no match for Sydney Sweeney's undeniable beauty. Are Sydney Sweeney's breasts? Sydney Sweeny is on camera.
Wait. Yeah. Wokeness is dead. Wokeness is no match for Sydney Sweeney's undeniable breasts.
No match for Sydney Sweeney's undeniable beauty. Are Sydney Sweeney's breasts double D harbingers of the death of woke?
Harbingers, not
right
harbingers.
Conservatives being boob guys?
Probably.
She might have been right after all. Honestly, this doesn't really make sense because, like, the left are the ones trying to normalize porn and, like, OnlyFans culture and stuff like that. If anything...
Like Collective Shot going after video game characters and going after video games and sexualization of women in video games, but they haven't said a thing about OnlyFans. I suppose it's only a problem when men do it.
There is too much boobs everywhere. We need to calm down a bit. But when it comes to Sydney's like classical bombshell beauty, like I kind of get where they're coming from. Sydney Sweeny is a hot white woman who does not mind catering to the male gaze after we...
No, why would she? It makes her a ton of money.
Had a decade of hearing about how...
That's not a bad thing either.
How the male gaze is bad and toxic. A decade of hearing about how white people are bad and toxic. A decade of ugly, angry, fat androgyny seeping its way into everything and anything. When people say Sydney Sweeny is anti-woke, I don't even think they mean politically. I think they just mean like...
She is the personification of it,
like Sydney Sweeny is like looking into a time portal back to 1992, a time when porn addiction wasn't such a big issue. Every woman didn't show her hole online for $5. Hookup apps didn't exist. It's like a bunch of millennials and zoomers are longing for a time they never experienced. But yet,
I did experience it.
Yes, this is a cultural shift, but not necessarily a conservative one.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing either.
Just a return to like normalcy, a return to normal Americana consumerism. In 2065, conservatives are going to be like posting people twerking like, return! These same TikTok freaks who
I hope not.
Sydney Sweeny have been sounding the alarm about this cultural shift for some time now. And we see a bunch of celebrities embracing like looking normal and healthy again. Like Demi Lovato is a perfect example of this. She was an obese, short hair, walking stereotype, crying about a frozen yogurt place, daring to sell sugar-free frozen yogurt.
I walked in, was so triggered that I left without froyo.
To now being skinny and healthy and married, and even making a TikTok dancing happily in that same frozen yogurt place.
It sounds like she grew up.
The singer returning to the scene of the crime Wednesday, poking fun at herself on her social.
That's part of the reason these...
But you know what? Hang on. Yeah. But you know what? Good for her. She definitely turned herself around. That's awesome.
On her social.
That's part of the reason these people are freaking out and saying like fascist aesthetics, because they know the chokehold
Yeah, and again, they don't understand what fascism is. Not fascist aesthetics.
they have had on culture is losing its grip. Inshallah. Once Sam Smith
What's
goes back to being
inshallah?
normal, that's
What the
when I
hell
know
is
the
that?
culture is healing. Thankfully, American Eagle did not. Chokehold they
Sorry,
have had
what?
on culture is losing its grip. Inshallah. Once Sam
Oh, what a terrible time to have eyes. Let's look at it a bit longer. It gets worse the longer you look at it. Ugh.
Sydney Sweeny has great genes, is and always was about the genes. Her genes, her story. Wait a
Mhm.
minute. Her genes.
I saw
Her
that.
story. HH.
HH, I don't get it.
Uh-oh. Now, I can sit here and say the obvious, like, these corporations just want to pander to you, they just want to sell you, like, yeah, obviously. But have you considered, it's good when corporation pander to me, personally? I just realized so much of American political discourse is, like, around f***ing corporations and ads. The Gillette commercial, Bud Light,
Mhm.
Protein World. There are so many
Yeah.
examples. Like, it's just crazy how so much of our politics revolves around consuming things. I will buy
Yeah, well, since the industrial era, America's been a very consumerist nation. Let's not forget about prohibition and why that became a thing.
blue team products. I will buy red team product. Bleak. In
Mhm.
conclusion, we are tired of ugly. There's hot people in ads again.
Yep.
The white woman is back, baby. Let's go. 500 trillion more to Israel. Nobody can afford a fucking house. World is run by pedophiles. But woke is dead, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. So if you like this video, please subscribe and maybe donate to me on Patreon. Link down below. All Patreon members get the uncensored version of every single video a day early. So you get to hear all the fucks and shits uncensored. If you can't
Nice.
don't want to do that, there's also a little tip jar down below. You can leave a little tip.
I would if I had more than 73 cents in my account, Shue. That's US. That's cents in US dollars.
And I will give it a little heart. It helps the channel out, and I appreciate it so much. Also, big
Mhm.
shout out to Holtzkern again
Yeah,
for
yep.
sponsoring this video. Check them out, link down below. And I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye!
Yep. Bye. So that was that. That's ShoeOnHead. I love her. She's brilliant. And although she says she's very left-leaning, I find that she's very much balanced, or at least if she's left-leaning, then so am I. But I've been called alt-right as well, so, I don't think labels like that even matter at this point. But yeah, the reaction to Sydney Sweeney's ad is stupid. People are reading too much into it. They're making it far deeper and more difficult than it actually is. My big takeaway is there are certain things in life that you should probably take at face value, and Sydney Sweeney's ad is one of them. It also goes back to something that I saw recently. It was like, it went something like, you call it racist, I call it funny, and you wonder why I'm happier than you. And that's how I feel. They call it something like, they call it eugenics and fascist and all that. I call it a jeans ad. Who do you think's happier here? Anyway, that's that for this video. Link to the original video will be down below. Be sure to fuel your grind with some poggers and power it with some Starforge. Links to mine will be in the description down below as well. You get 10% off poggers and 5% off Starforge. Buying from me there will help in ways you can't actually fathom, because you'll be helping me get an income, as opposed to what I'm doing now and doing all this for free. So, with that being said, thanks everybody for your time and for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one. Check it out. I do reactions on all sorts of different topics, mostly Rev these days because I watch his stuff a lot, but mostly just to keep up with things. All right then. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.